and some trade secrets, and to get you thinking, to get you inspired, and to help you explode your business over the next, little under 90 days now. There's going to be some tips there, and I always say to people, if you do all the 1%ers well enough, you really get considerably good results. So I'm going to go through 20 top tips of mine tonight, and you can really, if you apply them all together, really compound the results in your business. So let's get moving and get into tonight's webinar. So these are tips and tricks on how to explode your business. They're not in any particular order, so don't as I'm going through them 1, 2, 3, it's not my number one tip, my number 2, number 3. These are just compiled tips, and you may be applying them, you may not. You may actually think one tip's in particular better than another for your specific situation. So I just want to point out that these are not in any particular order, but if you apply them all equally and improve in each of these areas 10% each, you will compound the results in your business. I've got this little graph up here to put something into perspective. And I guess in Australia at the moment, there are a few people from overseas that have connected into our 90-day challenge. But you put it into perspective of our week of budget release. It's all doom and gloom out there. The government will always try and make it harder for you to get ahead in life. Now, I went and did some calculations. And when you think about it, maybe $100, $200, even $500 a month may not seem a lot. But if it's coming in month after month, it's residual income. So you think about what's easier here. If you save up $24,000, so if you're sitting there at home tonight thinking, gee, how long does it take me to save up $24,000? Residually that would contribute $100 extra residual a month. Is it easier to sign up 4 basic packs, or start building a Jeunesse business that's bringing in $100 a month, or saving up $24,000? For a lot of people, low income earners, that may take 10 years to do. Let's just move right down to the scale, right at the bottom there. How long would it take you to save $2.4 million? For most people working around the clock, investing in shares, property, creating wealth, going through the corporate ladder, most people on this planet could not save up $2.4 million to have in the bank to produce a $10,000 a month residual if they tried. So my question to people is, think about it like this. Does it take longer to make an extra $100 in Jeunesse, or save $24,000 and have sitting in the bank? How long does it take in your current situation to save up $2.4 million? I bet you could get to Ruby quicker. So what if it does take you 10 years? It's going to be a lot quicker than saving up $2.4 million for most people. So stick to the journey, stick to the plan, and know when you're a Ruby director in Jeunesse, it is the equivalent of having $2.4 million in the bank in regards to the direct residual income. So here's a lot of the tips that I'm going to help with you to help you build. As I said, compound them all together and watch the effects on your business. So tip 1, whether you have won your trip or not to the Gold Coast, book your event now. And if you're super serious, book your trip to Macau now. And if you're someone that didn't go to last year's Thai convention or last year's trip to Melbourne for our Australian convention, have a chat to someone who did and find out how effective that was on their business. I always say, it shows that you're committed. And once you are committed, once you have booked, you can plan around that. You will focus on getting your team to do the same. It's the same as when you join Jeunesse, and if you buy an ambassador package, it's a lot easier to promote an ambassador package. Bigger the stakes, bigger the results. If you make an investment in your business, you're more likely to go and put more urgency and attack on your business. And it will force you to go and get it for free. Once you commit, you are forced into doing your best possible effort to get it for free. And I always share this story. One of my first mentors, for those that know me well, would have heard me say this time and time again, but it always rings loud in my ears. One of my mentors, when he first joined his company, he got 10 people to an international convention. And because he had 10 people there, that event was enough to inspire 6 of those 10 people to achieve full-time income. So we're talking about not diamonds, we're talking about people. It inspired 6 people enough to get to the Sapphire Elite type of level. And because he had 6 of those people earning full-time income, it propelled him to what we refer to as a diamond in the business. So that's what events can do for you. That is why I bang down the doors and say, at an absolute minimum, you are at the national event in the Gold Coast with an army of people. And if you're really, really serious, if you want to not get to Ruby in 10 years, but get there in 2 or 3, you'll be at the international convention with as many people as you possibly can. Last year, I worked on my business and ended up having 120 people in my genealogy at the Thailand convention. 6 months later, my cycles go from 250 to over 500. That success leaves clues. So I'd really encourage you, if you're engaged in the 90-day challenge, that your number one priority is not only you booking to be at that Gold Coast convention, you have an army of people there too. So let's move on to tip 2. Lift your business intensity to dizzy heights. We talk about this all the time. I posted in the 90-day challenge group, one of the industry legends, Holton Buggs, is in another company to Jeunesse, but he's an industry educator. That 10-minute video is an incredible effort of intensity. He actually launches a business where, he just books meeting after meeting after meeting and creates urgency for people to bring people to the next meeting. If you haven't watched that, go into the 90-day challenge group and scroll down to my where I posted it there and spend 10 minutes watching that. Last month, Emerald only happened because of intensity. There was 4 days to go and 100 cycles to go. So we made more phone calls. We're in the lining up in the Philippines to board a plane. We're running internal promotions. We were doing whatever we possibly could because we wanted to get to Emerald. And that intensity, that urgency created that. So we talk about that all the time. Really apply that in your business. Make month ending every single month like the closing of the financial year. You want as many sales as you possibly can to be hitting in by the end of the month every single month. I love this tip here because, and I actually it ran true in the Philippines. We had 6 top leaders break out as Sapphire, and one of those leaders was a number 1 distributor of another company for 10 years in the Philippines. No excuses. Shit happens in life. And as she said in front of everyone in the Philippines, she said, I would rather be in Jeunesse when things aren't going my way than not be in Jeunesse. When you're in Jeunesse, at least you've got like-minded, positive people around to support you. So shit happens in life whether you're building a network or not. Just it's a lot easier when you're in a great organization with a great group of people. So no excuses. Shit does happen. Just deal with it. Move on. Tip number 4, your goals, your targets, your achievements. I've been working with people one-on-one at the moment, and my absolute mantra in the business is you have to have a record month every single month. While you're not in the 90-day challenge, I expect a 10% record month every single month. When you put that into traditional business terms, terms, public company terms. They cheer and celebrate when they have a 10% annual growth. So we're talking about in Jeunesse exponential growth here. We're talking about without even being in a 90-day challenge where you're absolutely giving it everything, 10% as a minimum. But now you're in the 90-day challenge. Now you're putting in absolutely everything. It is a 20 to 30% per month growth. That's what you need to be aiming for, moving forward every single month. Tip 5, teamwork makes your dream work. That's why the JFI concept has worked so well. It's why the team concept works so well. It's why in sport, the best teams, I always say a champion team will always beat a team of champions because they work together. They're on the same page. They're aligned. And just, this system works. We're doing great webinars weekly, lots of them. We're doing live events that you can look at all the way through to Macau and find out where our live events are all the way to then. Just plug every single person into the system and let the system sort them out. Do not prejudge. You might think your new distributor might not have what you would resume say star power, but let the system decide. That the old saying of the duds turn into studs and the studs turn into duds. I did a good call with a new leader and she asked me for the tips on who to go for. And I said, obviously you want the best, most open-minded, entrepreneurial, hard-working, go-getting people as possible. But when some people have their back to the wall, this industry has created some of the most inspiring stories of all time when people have been in on their last dollar. So do not prejudge. Let the system, and the system is working, and it's webinars, live events, conference calls, face-to-face meetings, and invite, edify, and get people into the system and let that work it out. That's a really massively important thing. If someone wants to go off and reinvent, recreate the wheel, don't say jump into the system and follow the system. It's working. We're creating jades, pearls, sapphires, elites now, rubies, emeralds, diamonds because of this system, and it's working so well. So please make sure if someone wants to break the mold, you drag them back into the system. Internal promotions. Now we talk about leveling up, aiming for the end of the month. If you're really lining up that Sapphire Elite, that full-time residual income sort of level, and you're 20 cycles away, you might run an internal promotion to your top 6 leaders based on enrollments in your group and give something away. Or it might be that you want to move forward in your business, you win the free trip to the Gold Coast and Macau and you get to take a guest. Or it might be to Noosa next year. Run an internal promotion and get one of your top leaders to earn their way on that trip with you for free. Be smart, be creative. I would say win your way to Macau or the Gold Coast and run an internal promotion to fast track your business and actually get one of your leaders there for free. That's going to create more cycles, more residual income, help your leader see the bigger picture, and it can only be good for your business. But make sure that you don't be silly and don't sort of say, I'm going to pay for someone to go to Macau and you're out of pocket $3,000 because of your investment. There's creative ways to do that and make sure that the numbers work. So, if you want to talk about internal promotions, talk to Aaron. I know Tracy Seacombe's a master of doing this. Angela, one of the top leaders, Lyndon, about what is possible to do and see if the numbers work. But make sure if you've got you've already won your trip to Macau and you've got a free spot, or actually use it to your advantage. Tip number 7, fear and comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. Results happen out of your comfort zone. And the reason people don't get out of that is because of fear. So make sure that you prospect new people daily. Increase enrollments dramatically. If you're enrolling, one person a week, one person a fortnight, one person a month, double it. Just do it. When you were little, you had no fear. Your dreams were massive. Everyone wanted to be an astronaut when they were little. Everyone wanted to be the best golfer in the world, the best tennis player in the world. But, once you start getting older, the media, the government, your school teachers, your family, your friends will create fear and doubt in your life. Just make sure you dare to dream and things will happen. Tip number 8, welcome everyone to the team. Now, this is a really good strategy that I use. When I personally enroll someone into the business that wants to engage in the business, someone that's top quality, or it might be someone that one of my leaders has enrolled into the business that I've done a call with that I really like them, I actually introduce them straight away to the entire support network. Now, I qualify them first because I don't want to make a customer feel uncomfortable and then say, look, here's my enroller, Lyndon, here's my top leader, Aaron, here's my top leader, Steve, and I don't want to introduce a customer or someone that said, Craig, I'm happy to join and take the products, but I'm not ready to really go full tilt yet. But if I know that someone wants to build a solid business, I show them the support network. So I'll do an email and say, this is my top leader, Tracy Seacombe. She's based in Adelaide. She's, Sapphire Elite type of level. Here's my top leader, Angela. And, if they're in that lineage, make sure that, that person you're enrolling's in their group, so that your leaders can support them as well. So don't sort of show, it's no point me showing someone in Adelaide who's in Tracy's group, introduce them to Angela because they're not working together. But make sure that if you've introduced someone into their downline, show that entire lineage, that entire support network, so they can see that the business is bigger than you. My license to set bold targets, tip number 9. If someone has time, has experience, has big ambitious goals, such as Ruby in 12 months, that is my license to be bold. I have an honesty system with them, and that is, do you want me to be honest? Because everyone comes in and says, I want to be Ruby in 12 months. And they'll say yes. I'll say, what time do you have? And they'll say, well, I've got 2 days a week. I'll say, do you have good experience in the industry? Yes, I do. Do you want to make Ruby in 12 months? Yes, I do. Okay, well, if you want to do that, I'll help you do that. I'll promise that I'll help you do that. When you've got 30 personally enrolled, let's assess. So they'll go off and enroll, and if they get to 30 people quickly, okay, let's assess. You're on target to get there, or it might take them 6 months, and I say, look, Ruby might be out of the question in 12 months now. When you've got 6 leaders, let's assess. So that person's out actively pushing forward quickly to hit that target of either 30 enrollments or 6 leaders. I'm saying 3 calls a day, not necessarily have to be that, but regular contact. If someone's saying to me, Craig, I want it to be Ruby in 12 months, but I'm not prepared I'll contact you in a month's time, well, that's just, they're not serious about achieving that sort of goal. So I assess the situation in the 48-hour training. Give me your list, give me your time you commit, give me your goals, give me your why, and I'll work everything else from that. Okay, 10 to 15 personally enrolled people in your first month. These are all qualifiers. They're not absolute have-tos, but they're qualifiers, because you get a lot of people that do come in and say, I want to be a double diamond. the talk is cheap. It's easy to say that. I want to be a double diamond too. I set myself a goal to be diamond in 3 years. I may fall short of that, but I'm going to give it my best. I enrolled enough people. I developed enough leaders. I've done enough of the right activities to do it. And now I've got to let it all happen. It will happen. It may not be in 3 years, but it might be in 3.5. But the important thing is I'm upfront and honest. And if they have that sort of goal and that sort of target, I give myself a license to say it how it is. If someone's, and that's really it. If someone comes back to me a month later and they've only got 5 enrollments, then I can say, well, Ruby in 12 months is not going to be sort of in your time frame. Within 2 years, we can reassess that situation. But it's really important when you've done your 48-hour training, your 15 points, you're getting started, and someone is big and bold, I have a license to tell it how it is. I like this little analogy or metaphor, the story of the Christmas parade and the Mardi Gras. This is really, just a nice little, tip. There's 3 types of people that go to a Christmas party or a Christmas parade or a Mardi Gras. There's people that are actually participating in there. They're a part of the actual show. There's people that are standing on the side of the show watching, and there's people that could not care less. The people that are engaged in the journey of Jeunesse have the most fun and get the most results. So understand this. The people that are in the parade, that are a part of the floats, they are the most active. They are having the most fun. They are on the journey. They love what they do. But then you do get the people that watch, but you also get people that couldn't care less. If you find that, that's exactly the same as Jeunesse. The people that are on this challenge, active in the business, participating, engaging, they're the people that are having the most fun. They're the people that are making the most money. Then you get people that turn up to events and are watching it all unfold. You've got friends and family on the sidelines watching it all unfold. But then you've got the cynics and the skeptics and the people that couldn't care less. Let him be at home by himself. Just understand that you've got people that are in the event, people watching the event, and people that couldn't care less. Tip number 11, coaching and talking it through. This is one of my favorite things I love doing with people because every circumstance, every situation is different. So I do a 3-way call with someone, and that 3-way call is good, bad, or ugly. Whatever happens on that call, I'll call the person back and talk them through it. Why did I go down this angle? Why did I have to you've got to be adaptable in every situation. So I want to explain why I'm actually going down that path with that story, or why I, talk big numbers or way too much product or whatever it is. I want to talk it through with them because it's a part of the leadership and the growth of the person that's sitting on the 3-way calls. 3-way calls, top leaders like Aaron and Lyndon and Angela, the top leaders, Steve Baker, they're doing that many 3-way calls. They're being productive, getting better results, but they're actually learning and growing as well and becoming better leaders. So just understand that every situation's different, and it's really good to talk that leader through. If you've done a 3-way call with someone, say, look, can you explain why that situation unfolded after it? Tip number 12. Make your story that good Steven Spielberg gives you a call. That's a really, really important part, and we're doing some leadership training in this area. Aaron's been a great pioneer of doing this more practical leadership training. But this is the best recruitment tip that works. This is the best conversion strategy. People join people. If your story is that powerful, is that good, people will join people. I'll give you a classic example of that. There's a really good leader from another company that's recently joined Jeunesse, and because her story is that powerful, that compelling, she's had success in the past, people are flocking to join her again because people join people. It's like, I want to join you because of. type of situation. So, your story's got to be all about, it could be trials and tribulations and challenges that you've had in the past. Have your successes, have your vision in your story, have where you're going, what you've achieved. If your story in Jeunesse is very unique, use other people's story. My story can be as long as 15 minutes or as long as 3, but I'm very adaptable. If I'm talking to corporate people, I introduce my corporate career. If I'm talking to business people, I introduce my business career. If I'm talking to sporting people, I introduce my sporting background and how I've adapted it to business. And I also use my Jeunesse story as well. So, but before I joined Jeunesse, I still had a story to tell. And I say this in the leadership training that we're doing around as a part of the J School. Understand other people's stories. Understand Lyndon's 26 years. Understand Aaron's story of where he's been and where he's going with Jeunesse. Understand all the leaders, the double diamond stories, as many as you can, and you're creating a goodie bag that you can just draw on time after time after time. It's all about relating person to person. So if I meet a good prospect and they're been in network marketing before and they've had great success before, I might use Lyndon's story to really gel and rapport that story. If I meet a girl power type of person that's got successful business, great mindset, great outset in life, I might try and use Tracy's story to relate to that person. So it's important to understand other people's stories and develop yours till it's that good that Steven Spielberg will give you a call because he'd want to write a movie about it. Tip 13, in the 90-day challenge, run with the runners. That is a massive tip. Energy with energy. If you've got team members in your team that are in the 90-day challenge, they take priority because they're obviously trying to work harder. You might have good leaders that are heavily engaged in Jeunesse. Run with the runners. If you haven't, you got to go and find those quickly as a part of your 90-day challenge. But because you are prioritizing the 90-day challenge over dead TV time in your life, you will still be able to work overtime to walk with the walkers as well to provide more growth into your business. But make sure you're not sleeping with the sleepers. Just get out there and find a few more runners. The time is now. No regrets. The one thing I will guarantee is that this is the most unique and exciting opportunity that I've ever seen in my entire life. The tidal wave is rolling into the shores. Don't sit on the beach and in years to come just sit there and go, I knew about that then, and wish that you jumped on the wave too. The leaders in this business, because it's still fresh and raw and exciting, 2.5 years in Australia, in 3 years' time, I'm never going to be more engaged than I am now to help people be successful. Lyndon's never going to be, he's got 3 nights in his own bed this month. He's never going to be more engaged than he is right now to help people get to where they want to be. In 3 years' time, I might be only able to help you from the other side of the world in the Greek islands. I might get on a Skype call occasionally. I might get on a phone call occasionally. I might help out with a live event occasionally. But right now, I'm as hungry as I've ever been for success. And that's a really important tip, because when you have a lot of people that have got good leadership that are going places fast, jump onto them and ride with them right now. So it's important. The time is now. No regrets. The 1-2 punch, invite and edify. If you get good at inviting, you get good at edifying, you can go and build a good business. Then you'll learn the rest along the way. So get good at inviting people to sit on a webinar, inviting people to live events, to 3-way calls, whatever it is. But don't just get them there. Edify the medium. So that I want you to jump on this week's webinar, because my good friend Stephen Baker, the AFL player that's made over 30,000 a month in this industry before. He's one of the hardest working people I've seen. Great success, great presenter. I'd love you to be on this webinar. Don't just send the link, edify the webinar. If Aaron Biley's in Sydney, so you got to go in to this event in Sydney, promise yourself, because Aaron Biley's been featured in property magazines. He's been featured as a Millionaire Club member. He's been featured in Jeunesse's top leaders. Like, you've got to promise yourself, go and see that guy. So edify the event, edify the medium. You really need to get good at that, but also it's important to get good at inviting. And be good at inviting is piquing their interest and then get them to the conversion strategy and edify that conversion strategy. Productive time is the only time that counts. For me, if I'm not doing a webinar, a phone call, training someone, something that's producing absolute direct results, it does not get counted. I'd rather watch the TV. I do not get caught up in dramas. That side of my life, whether it's in Jeunesse or not, rarely happens, because I find a way to not really get involved in it too often. I detach myself from drama-based situations. Productive time is the only time that counts in your business. Make prospecting fun. Tip number 17, make recruiting fun. Make Jeunesse fun. I love prospecting. I love sifting and sorting. I love the game of trying to get someone converted to join. I love Jeunesse. I reckon Jeunesse is work, but I would do it as a hobby if there was no money involved. I love I love being around the people with Jeunesse. Walk around as if you're Donald Trump doing multi-million-dollar deals. Have the posture, have the strength, have the power, have the confidence to just walk around as if you are Donald Trump just about to sign a multi-million-dollar casino deal, because that's what you're doing with Jeunesse. If you convert the next big leader in this business that goes on to become a diamond and you're earning a 30% matching bonus on a diamond income, you are a multi-million-dollar income earner. All right, so make sure that you walk around as if you are that person now, because the next enrollment could be that person that changes your business. Events, and events. Tip number 18. This is my number one building strategy. I've got the events calendar up that I'm looking at all the time. Who do I know in that area all the time? I plan 3 months in advance, because if you're ringing someone the day before the Sydney event, the chances are that they won't go. That's a reality. Most people are that busy with their own boring lives that they just don't know. They just can't do it because they've already booked up with some sort of unproductive busy thing. So if you plan 3 months in advance, you are a better chance of getting the person or focusing on an area or a region to get there. And when I say plan 3 months in advance, I'm not saying enroll someone in 3 months to go there. I'm saying if you want to hit, say, the Perth market, prospect in Perth now, enroll the people, get them started, and be planning towards that event. Get them with a small team there, get them trained up. So the event strategy is my favorite. It's the best converter. It's the best place where people make a decision. The ultimate skeptic will go there and leave there with an open mind. It's really important to have events as your top building strategy. Tip 19. If you are struggling in this business, pick up the phone and talk to someone. If you're not making enough money, pick up the phone and call more people. If you need help answering objections, you need help converting someone, you need help presenting, you need help with something, pick up the phone. If you need a friendly ear on occasion, just pick up the phone and get some help. This business is the greatest business platform on the planet because people can help people. I make money from my organization because I've built it. You can come to me for advice anytime for free because I'm getting paid to help people. All right, I'm not getting paid by you directly. I'm getting paid to help people. You think about that in the corporate world terms. If you're in the corporate world and you need a business coach to help you progress, it's coming out of your pocket. All right. So, and if you want to ask for the free advice from the senior manager that's above you on the corporate ladder, they'll probably be trying to sabotage you if you've got any talent. So this is the best business model, best platform on the planet to help people. Tip number 20. This is my last tip of tonight's webinar, is focus and prioritize. Really important point here because everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, but priorities change for people, and you find when you talk to people and really listen to their priorities, your income usually reflects that. All right. So it's important to make your priorities represent what you want to achieve in life. And I'll put one thing out there, really will hit home. If family is your number one priority, if your family, your kids, whatever's your number one priority, as it should be, all right, imagine what you can do if you are a multi-million-dollar income earner for your family, and it takes you 1 to 2 years of sacrifice to get there. So family absolutely 100% should be number one priority, but Jeunesse should be a close second, because if you work hard in this business, you can change the life of not only your family but generations to come. All right, so that's my top 20 tips. I am going to, I have recorded this, but I'm going to